You know what's absolutely mind-blowing when you really stop to think about it? We live in this bizarre era where everyone's desperately hunting for the magical shortcut, the secret hack, the hidden loophole that somehow lets you get rich without working, lose weight without changing what you eat, find love without becoming lovable, build muscle without exercising, gain knowledge without studying, and achieve success without breaking a single sweat. And then these very same people sit around scratching their heads, wondering why their lives feel perpetually stuck, why abundance seems to dodge them, like they've got some kind of cosmic restraining order against prosperity, why success keeps slipping through their fingers like they're trying to hold water with a colander full of holes. But what if I told you something that's going to completely revolutionize how you think about everything? What if I revealed that the very principle you're running from, the law you're trying to sidestep, the truth you're attempting to circumvent with clever schemes and wishful thinking, is actually the golden master key that unlocks every single door you've been trying to force open with your bare hands? What if the universe operates on one simple, elegant, unchangeable law that most people spend their entire lives fighting against, like salmon swimming upstream, but the truly wise ones embrace it completely and watch their reality transform so dramatically that people start asking what on earth happened to them? I see you there. Maybe it's 2 a.m. and you're scrolling through another get-rich-quick scheme on your phone, your eyes burning from the blue light, but your hope still flickering that this time might be different. You're looking at another miracle manifestation method, another promise that sounds too good to be true, but maybe, just maybe, this will be the one that finally cracks the code. You've probably tried the lottery tickets, spending money you couldn't afford on random numbers, hoping mathematical chance would somehow solve all your problems. You've maybe dabbled in those passive income fantasies, where money just magically appears in your bank account while you sleep, like some kind of financial fairy godmother is working the night shift. You've possibly even tried those manifestation techniques where you just close your eyes, visualize stacks of cash raining down from heaven, and wait for the universe to dropship abundance to your doorstep like it's running an Amazon Prime service for miracles. And when none of it worked the way the gurus promised it would, when your bank account still looked like it was on a permanent diet, when opportunities continued to pass you by like you were wearing an invisibility cloak, you probably started developing some pretty dark theories about why life seems so unfair. You might have convinced yourself that there's some cosmic conspiracy against you specifically, like the universe somehow lost your address when it was delivering blessings to everyone else. Maybe you started believing that you were born under an unlucky star, or that everyone else received the secret manual for success but yours got lost in the cosmic mail system. You might have even begun accepting the soul-crushing idea that maybe you're just not meant to have more, that perhaps some people are divinely chosen for abundance, while others are cosmically destined to struggle forever. But here's the truth that's going to completely revolutionize your understanding of how reality actually works. And I need you to really listen to this, because everything is about to change for you. The universe doesn't operate a charity. It doesn't run a welfare system. It doesn't hand out participation trophies or consolation prizes. The universe doesn't believe in free lunches. And it certainly doesn't operate some kind of cosmic lottery where random people get randomly blessed for no particular reason. What the universe does do, what it's been doing since the beginning of time with perfect consistency, is exchange. Beautiful, fair, precise, mathematical exchange. And the exact moment you truly understand this law, not just intellectually like reading it in a book, but viscerally, in your bones, in your cells, in the very core of your being, everything in your life begins to shift in ways that will absolutely astound you, because you stop being a beggar standing outside the palace of abundance with your hand out, hoping for scraps from the royal table, and you become a skilled merchant with valuable goods to trade. You stop being a victim of circumstances, waiting passively for something magical to happen to you, and you become an active creator, making powerful things happen through you. You stop approaching life from a position of lack and desperation and start operating from a position of value and contribution. The universe absolutely loves a fair trade, and it's been sitting there patiently, eternally patient, waiting for you to step up to the cosmic counter with something genuinely worth exchanging. Now, Think about this logically for a moment, and I mean really sink your teeth into this concept. Everything in nature, every single thing in existence that you can observe, operates flawlessly on this principle of exchange. Nothing in creation tries to get something for nothing. Nothing in the natural world expects to receive without giving. The sun doesn't just randomly decide to shine because it's feeling generous. It gives light and heat to our entire solar system, and in return, it gets to be the gravitational center of our solar system. It gets planets orbiting around it in perfect harmony. It gets to be the source and sustainer of life itself. Trees don't just grow for entertainment or because they're bored. They give us oxygen to breathe. They provide shelter from storms. They offer beauty that lifts our spirits. They create homes for countless creatures. And in return, they receive carbon dioxide from our lungs. They get nutrients from the soil. They absorb water from the rain. They draw energy from the very sunlight they help to filter. Your heart doesn't beat randomly or out of boredom. It gives life-sustaining blood to every single cell in your body, pumping tirelessly day and night. And in return, it receives the nutrients and oxygen it needs to keep functioning. Your lungs don't breathe for entertainment. They're constantly engaged in perfect exchange, giving fresh oxygen to your bloodstream and receiving carbon dioxide to expel from your system. Even your brain operates on exchange. You give attention to an idea, and it gives you understanding, emotion, inspiration, or knowledge in return. You invest focus in learning a skill, and that skill provides you with capability and confidence. You offer care to a relationship, and that relationship returns love, support, and connection. Everything, absolutely everything in creation, understands and operates seamlessly on this fundamental principle of give and take, investment and return, circulation and flow. But somehow, somewhere along the line, humans developed this completely bizarre, utterly irrational idea that we're special enough to bypass this universal system. We convinced ourselves that we're exempt from the laws that govern everything else in existence. We started believing that we can take without giving, receive without offering, harvest without planting, withdraw without depositing, consume without producing, and benefit without contributing. We've spent generations teaching our children that they can get something for nothing if they're just clever enough, lucky enough, or special enough to find the secret loophole. And then we act surprised, shocked, even indignant, when the universe stops responding to our demands. We're like someone who walks into the most elegant restaurant in the world, orders a 7-course gourmet meal with wine pairings and imported desserts, eats every single bite with obvious enjoyment, and then becomes genuinely confused and offended when the server presents them with a bill. You would never, ever, consider doing that with food or any other physical transaction. So why do you think you can do that with abundance, success, love, health, or any other form of prosperity? Let me tell you exactly what happens when you try to get something for nothing, because understanding this mechanism is where most people's dreams go to die, and I want to save you from that fate. When you attempt to receive without giving, you create what I call energetic debt in the cosmic accounting system. The universe operates on perfect balance, divine equilibrium, cosmic mathematics that never, ever fails or makes errors. When you receive something without giving something of equal or greater value in exchange, when you take without offering, when you expect benefits without investing effort, you throw that perfect balance completely off kilter. And your subconscious mind, that brilliant, faithful, ever-vigilant servant that's constantly working behind the scenes to keep you aligned with your deepest beliefs about reality, knows instinctively that you haven't earned what you're asking for. So it does what it believes is its sacred duty to maintain cosmic order. It sabotages your success, blocks your progress, and creates obstacles to restore the natural balance that you've disrupted with your attempts to cheat the system. You might get a small windfall, find some unexpected money, receive a surprise gift, or stumble into a lucky break. But then mysteriously, almost like clockwork, something happens and it's gone again, just as quickly as it appeared. Your car suddenly needs expensive repairs. An emergency medical bill appears out of nowhere. Someone you trust asks for a loan they'll conveniently never repay. A supposedly stable investment turns out to be a scam. You might land an amazing opportunity, nail the interview, impress the right people, meet your potential soulmate, but then somehow, inexplicably, you lose it all just as fast. You say exactly the wrong thing at the worst possible moment. You miss a crucial deadline due to circumstances beyond your control. You make a simple mistake that costs you everything you thought you'd gained. That's not bad luck, my friend. That's not Murphy's Law or some cruel twist of fate. That's not the universe being randomly malicious or playing favorites with other people while picking on you. That's cosmic balance being automatically restored by the same laws that keep planets in orbit and make flowers grow toward sunlight. Because deep in your subconscious mind, you know you didn't exchange equivalent value for what you received. Here's where most people get this principle completely, catastrophically wrong, and it keeps them trapped in endless cycles of temporary success followed by inevitable loss, brief moments of hope followed by crushing disappointment. They think giving means sacrifice. They believe exchange means you have to give up something precious, lose something you value, surrender something you love, or diminish yourself in some way. They imagine that for them to win, someone else has to lose. That abundance is a zero-sum game where there's only so much to go around. But giving doesn't mean losing. Exchange doesn't mean sacrifice. Contribution doesn't mean depletion. Giving means investing. Investing in your future, investing in your relationships, investing in your growth, investing in your character, investing in your skills, investing in the eternal flow of abundance itself. When a wise farmer plants seeds in the spring, he doesn't see it as losing those seeds, mourning their absence, or giving up something valuable for nothing. He understands that he's investing those seeds in a future harvest that will return far more than what he planted, multiplied many times over. When you invest time and money in education, you're not losing those precious resources or throwing them away on something intangible. You're trading them for knowledge, skills, connections, and opportunities that will serve you and pay dividends for the rest of your life. When you invest energy in exercise and proper nutrition, you're not depleting yourself or suffering unnecessarily. You're exchanging temporary discomfort for long-term strength, vitality, health, and the confidence that comes with feeling amazing in your own body. When you invest attention and care in building meaningful relationships, you're not wasting your focus or giving away your power. You're creating bonds that will enrich your life in countless ways, providing support, love, joy, and opportunities you could never create alone. The universe responds enthusiastically to investors, not to gamblers. It rewards those who understand the principle of seed time and harvest, not those who want to win the cosmic lottery with minimal effort. Gamblers are always trying to get maximum return for minimum investment, looking for the big score that will solve all their problems instantly. They want to put in $1 and get back $1 million, work for a day and retire for life, make one good impression and coast on it forever. Investors understand something far more powerful and sustainable, that the size of the harvest is always, without exception, directly proportional to the quality, quantity, and consistency of what they plant. And here's the beautiful, empowering part of this universal truth that changes everything once you really grasp it. When you start operating as a conscious investor instead of a hopeful gambler, the universe begins treating you like a serious, trustworthy partner instead of a wishful thinker trying to game the system. It starts offering you bigger opportunities because it knows you'll handle them responsibly. It begins sending more resources your way because it trusts you to use them wisely. It starts conspiring in your favor because you've proven you understand and respect the rules of the game. Now, let's make this incredibly practical and actionable, because I'm not here to give you beautiful theories that sound wonderful, but don't actually change your bank account or improve your circumstances. Let's talk about what this principle means for your actual daily life, your real situations, your concrete goals and challenges. If you want more money flowing into your life, and I know you do because who doesn't want financial freedom and security, what valuable things can you give in exchange? You can offer your skills to solve problems for others. You can invest your time in learning new capabilities that make you more valuable. You can share your creativity to make someone's life more beautiful or easier. You can provide your service to meet genuine needs in the marketplace. You can contribute your unique perspective to help others see solutions they couldn't find on their own. If you want better, deeper, more meaningful relationships, what can you offer that creates real value for others? You can give your full, undivided attention when people are speaking to you, making them feel truly heard and understood. You can offer your kindness when others are struggling with challenges you've overcome. You can provide your loyalty when people need someone they can count on through difficult times. You can share your love freely without keeping score or demanding immediate reciprocity. You can contribute your encouragement when others are doubting their abilities or losing faith in their dreams. If you want radically better health and vitality, what investments are you willing to make in your own well-being? You can exchange your old, destructive eating habits for nutritious choices that fuel your body properly. You can trade your sedentary lifestyle for regular movement that strengthens your muscles and cardiovascular system. You can replace your chronic stress and anxiety with relaxation practices that restore your nervous system. You can substitute your destructive patterns and addictions with healing routines that support your highest good. If you want genuine spiritual growth and inner peace, what are you prepared to offer in exchange for that transformation? You can trade your ego and need to always be right for humility and willingness to learn. You can exchange your judgment and criticism of others for compassion and understanding. You can replace your fear-based thinking with faith-based living. You can surrender your need to control every outcome for trust in a higher wisdom that sees the bigger picture you can't perceive. But here's the absolutely critical key that most people completely miss, and this oversight is exactly why their attempts at manifestation, attraction, and positive thinking fail repeatedly. You have to give first. Not because the universe is testing your resolve or being unnecessarily difficult, but because giving first proves beyond any doubt your genuine faith in the law of exchange. It demonstrates that you truly believe in abundance rather than just hoping for it. It shows that you trust the system deeply enough to act on that trust even before you see results. It reveals that you're operating from overflow consciousness rather than lack consciousness. When you give first, you're sending a clear, unmistakable signal to the universe that says, I have so much confidence in the flow of abundance that I'm willing to start the cycle myself. I'm willing to prime the pump. I'm willing to plant the first seed. I'm willing to make the opening move. I trust this process so completely that I'll demonstrate my faith through action rather than just words. I'll never forget a conversation I had several years ago with a talented woman who was constantly frustrated that no one would hire her for her dream job in the nonprofit sector. She had impressive credentials, extensive experience, genuine passion for the cause, and a heart full of desire to make a difference. But somehow, every interview led to polite rejection. Every application disappeared into a black hole, every networking event seemed to lead nowhere, and every opportunity slipped through her fingers like sand. When I asked her what unique value she was offering to potential employers, what specific problems she could solve for them, what measurable benefits she could provide that other candidates couldn't match, she looked at me with confusion and said, "Well, I really need this job to pay off my student loans and support my aging parents. I'm passionate about the mission, and I think I'd be a good fit for the organization's culture." Do you see the fundamental problem with her approach? She was entirely focused on what she needed to receive from the job instead of what she had to give to the employer. Her entire energy, her whole presentation, her complete focus was centered on her problems, her needs, her financial pressure, her family obligations, her personal desires. She was unconsciously approaching every potential employer as a supplicant asking for charity rather than a professional offering valuable solutions. So we completely flipped her entire approach. Instead of asking what the world could do for her, she started asking what she could do for the world. Instead of focusing on her needs, she began researching and understanding their needs. Instead of talking about what she wanted from the job, she started talking about what she could contribute to the organization's mission. Instead of leading with her desperation, she began leading with her value proposition. The transformation was absolutely remarkable. Within 3 weeks, she had 2 serious job offers. Within 6 weeks, she was working in a position that paid significantly more than she had originally hoped for and provided better benefits than she had dared to imagine. The opportunities had been there all along, circulating in the marketplace, waiting for the right person to claim them, but she couldn't access them because she was operating from taking energy instead of giving energy, from neediness instead of value creation. The moment she shifted her approach from, "What can you do for me?" to "What can I do for you?" everything changed. The same resume, the same experience, the same qualifications, but completely different results because she had aligned herself with the universal law of exchange. And listen, I know what some of you are thinking right now, because I can practically hear your inner voice protesting, and your concerns are completely understandable. But I've given so much already and received so little in return. I've been generous with my time, my money, my energy, and people have taken advantage of me. I've worked incredibly hard and not been rewarded fairly. I've invested in relationships that didn't work out the way I hoped. I've tried to help others and they didn't appreciate it or even acknowledge my efforts. I've been the giver in every situation, and I'm tired of being taken for granted. I hear you. I really, truly hear you, and your experiences are completely valid. Your feelings are entirely understandable. Your frustration is absolutely justified. You're not imagining things, and you're not being overly sensitive. There really are people who take advantage of givers, situations that don't reward merit fairly, and investments that don't pay off the way we hope they will. But here's what might have been happening in some of those situations, and understanding this distinction could change everything for you going forward. You might have been giving with invisible strings attached, offering generosity with hidden agendas, being kind with unspoken expectations, or helping others with secret contracts that they never agreed to. You might have been giving to manipulate outcomes rather than to create genuine value. You might have been offering your service to control other people's reactions rather than to express authentic love. You might have been investing in people and situations to get them to behave the way you wanted rather than to genuinely support their growth and well-being. The universe has an incredibly sophisticated detection system that can absolutely tell the difference between authentic giving and strategic giving. It knows when you're offering genuine value with no strings attached and when you're trying to purchase a specific outcome. It can sense when your generosity comes from genuine abundance, consciousness, and when it comes from lack consciousness, disguised as giving. True giving, the kind that creates lasting abundance and attracts genuine returns, has no agenda beyond the pure joy and satisfaction of giving itself. When you give because it feels genuinely good to give, when you serve because you want to be part of solutions rather than problems, when you love because it's a natural expression of who you are rather than a strategy to get what you want, when you contribute because you have something valuable to offer rather than because you're trying to buy affection or admiration, that's when the magic happens. That's when the universe sits up, takes notice, and says, "Now we're speaking the same language." Here's something that will fundamentally shift your perspective on this entire subject, and I want you to really absorb this because it's going to change how you approach everything. You're not actually trying to get something for nothing when you follow universal law correctly. You're trying to get something valuable for something valuable, and that something you give doesn't always have to be huge, expensive, dramatic, or life-changing. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can offer to someone is exactly what costs you nothing financially but means absolutely everything to them emotionally. Your undivided attention when someone feels lonely or invisible. Your genuine encouragement when someone is drowning in self-doubt. Your unwavering belief when someone has completely lost faith in themselves. Your calm presence when someone is overwhelmed by chaos. Your patient listening when someone desperately needs to be heard. Your authentic appreciation when someone feels unvalued. Your honest feedback when someone is stuck in delusion. Your loyal support when someone is facing criticism from others. The universe is constantly, every single moment of every day, looking for reliable channels through which it can flow abundance to people who need it. But it needs to know that you're a trustworthy channel. someone who won't block the flow once it starts moving through you. It needs to see concrete evidence that when abundance flows through you, you'll keep the circulation going instead of hoarding it all for yourself like a spiritual miser, terrified that there won't be enough. The way you prove your reliability as a channel for abundance is by demonstrating your understanding of the exchange principle, even when you don't have much to exchange, even when you're struggling financially, even when you're going through difficult times. Start exactly where you are, with exactly what you have right now, not where you wish you were or what you hope to have someday. If you want to attract financial abundance into your life, begin by being genuinely generous with whatever money you currently possess. Not reckless, not financially irresponsible, not foolishly naive, but thoughtfully generous. Tip a little extra when someone provides good service. Give to a cause that genuinely moves your heart and aligns with your values. Help someone who has less than you do, even if you don't have much yourself. Buy coffee for the stranger behind you in line. Pay for someone's meal when you sense they're struggling. Show the universe through your concrete actions that you understand money is meant to flow and circulate, not stagnate and accumulate out of fear. If you want to attract authentic love into your life, start by being more genuinely loving to the people already around you. Be consistently kinder to strangers you encounter throughout your day. Be more patient with difficult people instead of immediately getting defensive or angry. Be more forgiving of those who have hurt you in the past, not because they deserve it, but because forgiveness liberates your own heart. Be more openly appreciative of those who already care about you instead of taking their love for granted. If you want to attract genuine success in your career or business, start by authentically helping others succeed without expecting anything in return. Celebrate their victories instead of feeling jealous or threatened. Share opportunities instead of hoarding them for yourself. Offer your knowledge and expertise instead of protecting it like a trade secret. Connect people who could benefit from knowing each other. Become known as someone who lifts others up rather than someone who only promotes themselves. But here's the part that makes this principle so incredibly powerful and life-transforming. When you consistently operate from the understanding that everything is exchange, you completely stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop feeling powerless, helpless, or at the mercy of external forces beyond your control. You start feeling like an active creator of circumstances, an engaged participant in your reality, a conscious co-creator with the universe itself. You realize that you always, without exception, have something valuable to give, which means you always have access to abundance in some form. You're never truly powerless because you're never truly empty-handed. Even when you're financially broke, you have your energy, attention, and service to offer. Even when you're emotionally devastated, you have your experience and empathy to share with others who are struggling. Even when you're professionally unsuccessful, you have your willingness to learn and serve in new ways. Even when you're physically weak, you have your prayers, encouragement, and emotional support to give. There's always something, some form of value, some type of currency, some kind of gift you can offer to the world. The universe never creates a being without also giving them something valuable to contribute. Your job is to discover what that is and then offer it freely and consistently. Let me share something that might surprise you, something I've observed over many years of studying successful, wealthy, and fulfilled individuals. The most prosperous people I know, the ones with the most money, the best relationships, the greatest impact, and the deepest sense of fulfillment, are also, without exception, the most genuinely generous people you'll ever meet. Not because they can afford to be generous after becoming successful, but because their understanding and consistent practice of generous exchange was a major factor in creating their success in the first place. They didn't become generous because they got wealthy. They became wealthy because they understood generosity. They didn't start giving after they had plenty. They started having plenty because they understood the power of giving first. They figured out early in their journey that you cannot receive anything with a closed fist. You have to open your hands to give, and when your hands are consistently open to give, they're automatically positioned to receive. They discovered that the universe rewards circulation, not accumulation. They learned that abundance flows naturally toward those who keep it flowing, not those who try to stop its movement out of fear. They understood that hoarding anything, whether it's money, knowledge, opportunities, or love, is like trying to dam a river. You might create a temporary pool, but you also stop the flow that would naturally bring you much more. This doesn't mean you should give away everything you have and hope for the best. That's not wisdom. That's foolishness. It doesn't mean you should be financially irresponsible or emotionally naive about people's motives. It doesn't mean you should enable dysfunction or support people who aren't genuinely trying to help themselves. It means you should be strategic about your giving, intentional about your investments, and wise about your exchanges. Give where your giving can create the most genuine value. Invest where your investment has the best chance of generating positive returns for everyone involved. Exchange where your exchange can produce the most benefit for all parties. Think of yourself as an abundance consultant, carefully evaluating each opportunity to give. Before you offer anything of value, ask yourself these important questions. Will this gift truly help this person grow and improve their situation? Will this investment yield positive returns that benefit everyone involved? Will this exchange create real value for both parties? Am I giving from genuine love and abundance consciousness, or am I giving from hidden neediness and lack consciousness? Am I trying to control an outcome, or am I simply offering value with no strings attached? Don't give to enable dysfunction or dependency. Don't invest in people who aren't ready to receive and properly use what you're offering. Don't exchange your precious resources for worthless promises, empty gratitude, or manipulative flattery. Be wise, be discerning, but also be consistently generous within your means and according to your values. Here's your practical action step, and I want you to implement this today, not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not next week when your circumstances are different, but right now while you still have this energy and understanding flowing through you. Look at one specific area of your life where you want to experience more abundance, more success, more fulfillment, more joy, more peace, more anything positive. Maybe it's your finances and you want more money flowing in. Maybe it's your career and you want better opportunities. Maybe it's your relationships and you want deeper connections. Maybe it's your health and you want more energy and vitality. Maybe it's your creativity and you want more inspiration and expression. Maybe it's your spiritual growth and you want more peace and wisdom. Now ask yourself this powerful, transformative question. What can I give here first? What value can I offer right now? What investment can I make today? What exchange can I initiate immediately? Don't wait until you have more to give. Don't postpone until you feel completely prepared. Don't delay until your circumstances are perfect. Start exactly where you are, with exactly what you have. If you want more clients for your business, give more exceptional, above and beyond value to your existing clients. Surprise them with something extra they weren't expecting. Solve problems they didn't even know they had. Exceed their expectations so dramatically that they become enthusiastic, voluntary members of your marketing team. Make your current clients so happy that they can't help but tell everyone they know about you. If you want more genuine friends in your life, give more authentic attention, care, and support to the friends you already have. Really listen when they talk instead of just waiting for your turn to speak. Remember what matters to them and follow up on important things happening in their lives. Show up consistently when they need support, not just when it's convenient for you. Be the kind of friend you want to attract into your own life. If you want more opportunities at work, give more excellence, initiative, and value to your current responsibilities. Do your job so well that your supervisor has no choice but to notice your contribution. Take on projects that others avoid. Solve problems before they become crises. Make your boss's life easier and more successful. Become indispensable through your service, not through politics or manipulation. If you want better health, give more respect, care, and attention to your body. Feed it nutritious food that provides genuine energy rather than empty calories. Give it regular movement that builds strength and endurance. Provide it with adequate rest and recovery time. Treat it like the precious temple it is, rather than like a garbage disposal you can abuse without consequences. Then, and this is absolutely crucial for your success, take action on that giving, without any attachment to immediate, visible returns. Don't give with a stopwatch in your hand, timing how long it takes for the universe to reciprocate. Don't offer value with a hidden scorecard, keeping track of what you're owed. Don't invest with desperate expectation, constantly checking to see if your returns are showing up yet. Give, because giving is inherently the right thing to do, regardless of what comes back to you. Give, because giving aligns you with the fundamental law that governs all abundance in the universe. Give, because giving transforms you from a victim into a creator, from a taker into a contributor, from someone who waits for things to happen into someone who makes things happen. And here's what I want you to watch for very carefully, because this is where the magic becomes visible and undeniable. Pay close attention to how quickly the energy shifts around you when you start consistently operating as a conscious exchanger instead of an unconscious taker. Notice how differently people begin responding to you when you approach them with value to offer, rather than needs to be met. Observe how new opportunities start appearing, seemingly out of nowhere, when you're focused on creating value rather than demanding rewards. Watch how the universe starts conspiring in your favor in ways that would have seemed impossible before you understood and applied this law. People will start treating you differently because you'll be carrying different energy. Opportunities will start finding you because you'll be sending out different signals. Resources will start flowing toward you because you'll be operating as a channel rather than a dam. Abundance will start surrounding you because you'll be aligned with the natural laws that govern its flow. The truth is, you already know this principle works perfectly because you've seen it in action throughout your entire life. You've just been applying it unconsciously and inconsistently, in some areas but not others. Every skill you possess was earned through practice, through exchanging time and focused effort for competence and confidence. Every meaningful relationship you value was built through investment, through consistently giving attention, care, emotional energy, and genuine interest. Every achievement you're proud of required some form of sacrifice, dedication, trade-off, or delayed gratification. Every success you've experienced in any area of your life has been the direct result of some form of conscious or unconscious exchange. You've never, not once in your entire existence, received anything valuable and lasting for nothing in any area where you've experienced genuine, sustainable success. You might have gotten lucky occasionally, stumbled into temporary good fortune, or inherited something you didn't earn, but luck doesn't build careers, relationships, skills, character, or truly fulfilling lives. Exchange does. Investment does. The conscious, intentional, consistent offering of value in return for value does. You just forgot to apply this understanding systematically across all areas of your life. You remembered it at work but somehow forgot it in your relationships. You applied it to your physical fitness but mysteriously ignored it in your finances. You used it in your education but abandoned it in your spiritual growth. You honored it in some friendships but violated it in others. Today is the day you make this principle your universal operating system, your consistent approach to everything. So stop searching desperately for the magical shortcut that somehow bypasses the law of exchange. Stop looking for the secret formula that lets you receive tremendous value without giving tremendous value. Stop trying to withdraw from accounts you haven't made deposits into. Stop waiting for the universe to prove it loves you by sending you free gifts you haven't earned. Instead, start looking actively for ways to make more valuable exchanges. Start making substantial deposits that will generate compound interest over time. Start proving you understand how the universe actually works by working intelligently with its laws instead of foolishly against them. Think of the universe as the most sophisticated, fair, and generous bank in existence. It keeps perfect records and never makes mistakes. It pays incredible interest on wise investments and never forgets a genuine deposit. It always honors its commitments and never breaks its promises. But it doesn't give away free money to people who haven't demonstrated they can handle it responsibly. It doesn't shower abundance on people who haven't proven they understand how to use it wisely. It patiently waits for you to prove you understand the rules of the game before it allows you to play at the highest, most rewarding levels. When you finally align completely with the law of exchange, abundance doesn't just trickle into your life like a leaky faucet that barely works. It floods in like a dam bursting after a heavy rain because you've become a clear, unobstructed channel for its natural flow. You've proven beyond any doubt that you can be trusted with increase because you understand that temporary decrease is part of the natural cycle. You've shown through consistent action that you can handle receiving abundantly because you've mastered the art of giving generously. You've demonstrated that you see abundance not as something to hoard fearfully, but as something to circulate joyfully. The universe has been waiting patiently, eternally patient, for you to understand this fundamental truth that governs all prosperity. Your abundance, your success, your fulfillment hasn't been delayed because you're unworthy, unlucky, or forgotten. It's been held in cosmic escrow, safely protected, waiting for you to demonstrate your readiness to participate responsibly and wisely in the eternal flow of giving and receiving. Today is the day you stop trying to cheat the system and start working masterfully within it. Today is the day you stop being a taker and become a conscious, intentional, strategic exchanger of value. And today is the day your life begins to reflect the immutable, eternal truth that when you give something genuinely valuable, when you invest something meaningful, when you exchange something precious, you absolutely cannot help but receive something valuable, meaningful, and precious in return. The universe literally doesn't know how to operate any other way, and now neither do you. So go out there with this new understanding and start exchanging. Start giving strategically. Start investing wisely. Start proving to the universe that you understand the game and you're ready to play at the highest level with complete integrity and genuine wisdom. Your abundance is waiting patiently for you, but it's waiting on the other side of your willingness to give first, give consistently, and give with genuine love rather than hidden agenda. The cosmic vault is full of everything you've ever wanted, and you now hold the key. Use it wisely, use it generously, and watch your world transform.